Alright, as we get this all set up and started, because I don't do this very often, I am going to be doing a little vlog here about my experience at IPL4. My name is Esraf, as you can see right here along the wall, except it's not really on the wall, it's just me trying to be cool. I did go to IPL4. I had a good time. Instead of me actually writing an entire blog and taking the time to do that, because I hate writing papers, I'm going to do a vlog about it, just because it's easier for me to talk a lot about stuff and whatnot. So, obviously, I'm on my second monitor, which I'm looking over here, and you'll see me look over here sometimes when I'm looking at other stuff. But just explain that so it's a little bit less confusing for everyone. Um, I am not a pro gamer, I'm not a caster, I'm not a personality, I'm just a fan of the scene, and IPL4 was actually my second event I went to. I went to MLG Orlando last year. I have a friend that lives in Orlando. I went to visit him, so I enjoyed going out there. And then I heard about IPL4. It was in Vegas, and I live in Colorado, so Vegas isn't too far away. And plus, I hadn't been to Vegas pretty much ever in my adult life, so I got to go to Vegas and have some fun. Not to mention it's IPL, and I wanted to see how the other side of the spectrum really looked and enjoyed. So I'm going to be pulling pictures over and stuff like that so people can walk along me with my blog of ridiculousness. So this is going to be a picture of the venue. This is from a little boardwalk thing that you could walk out on and stuff, the Cosmopolitan. I was like, I'm gonna say damn. I don't know if people are gonna be offended by that, but it was awesome. Like, this is a nice hotel beyond all the words of nice. It was ridiculous. It's got the two towers and stuff like that. There's a pool here. There's a pool over here. Actually, here, I'll just maximize it so it's a little, well, of course I forgot the overlays like that. But there's a pool right here, another pool over here, and then all this area right over here, if you can see it in the bottom left-hand corner, is where the conference rooms were. So we were all over here, and then the rooms and whatnot. Everything was going on. So great venue. I did not stay at the place where they held the MLG Orlando because I had a friend and I stayed with him, and it saved me a whole bunch of money because Florida's quite a bit further away than Las Vegas for me from Colorado. So it was awesome. I was impressed all the entire time I was there about how ridiculous this place was, because I mean, pulling up from the airport shuttle that I took over there, just I'm like, holy crap, this place is expensive, and they got us a great deal and everything like that, and I had a blast. It was really cool. I did go to play because I do enjoy really going and playing. I did that in Orlando as well. I lost to some no-name guy, and then I got killed, and I got knocked out by Spades in the second round at Orlando. I go to play because I mean, you get to hang out in the player area, and because you're a player technically, even though you normally get crushed by some ridiculous pro, which happened to me at IPL, but we'll get into that later. I'm gonna get rid of this for the time being. It was pretty ridiculous, but again, I went there. I wanted to have some fun, see how I went. Starters, obviously, they announced the brackets a little bit beforehand, so I should probably look at the camera a little bit and adjust this. They did announce the brackets about a couple days before we had it out. I think it was Wednesday because I left on Thursday, so it was kind of interesting because I was like, oh, like everybody saw the bracket or who was all going to be there, and it was all like super duper, stacked with people, right? Foreign pros and obviously the Korean pros that were happening. So it was going to be pretty ridiculous. Sorry for the Bieber flip there. I just took a shower, so my hair isn't like really settled yet, so it's kind of crazy. And no, I don't like Justin Bieber. No, just not even going in there. Forget that. I was hoping I would get someone easy because I was going with a friend of mine. He was also, we're both going to go and play because, I mean, that's what we do. We play for our CSL team. We're okay. We're not, like, super good. We took second or division, so it wasn't like, oh my God, we're the best team ever. But we went, it's Vegas. We wanted to have fun anyway. But I was hoping that, I'd pick up some random other person because there were quite a few people there that were just kind of the randoms. I mean, there was, at least a handful of them. Like, I'd say, like, at least 20 or so that were just kind of the random people there that no one knew who they were. And some of them were masters, other ones were just kind of whatever, like me and my buddy. Uh, we went and like he was like talking about, I was like, oh well, you're gonna get some Korean pro first round, and he was giving me crap hard time and whatnot. And it ended up being I got Jelizer round one, which was cool yet exactly like how I am right now. It's like, oh, that's awesome, Jelizer, except I have to play him, and I'm like, dang it, I hate my life because Jelizer, I mean, at the time, I mean, he's been doing really well recently, and Codas round 16. Yeah, I'm just like, sweet, I'm gonna get my face kicked in. This is gonna be epic, and I'm just gonna be sad because I went to play and I didn't get a chance to do it. I keep looking down at the picture instead of at the camera. Sorry, I'm not used to this as I went through it before. Um, it was really, I know, it was like cool, yet it was like disheartening at the same time, just because you're like, oh, I'm so excited to go and blah blah blah, and then I'll maybe have a chance at actually beating somebody. Those false hopes you give yourself when you go to compete against some of the best in the world, just because you want to have a fun time. And so it was kind of depressing, all in all. I was really kind of sad about it. The whole experience about, oh man, I'm gonna have to play July Zerg round one. So I wonder if I can find out who I put it on too. And then of course IPL did give the ability to show the losers brackets and the losers of which match went where. So I was like, oh, well, let's find out who I'm gonna have to play in the second round because I have no faith in myself when I was playing July Zerg. So I mean, he, Brood War Legend, been doing really well right now in StarCraft 2 after not doing so hot, and um, we'll see how it goes. And I looked at the losers bracket, and the people that were adjacent to us, whoever lost had to play against, obviously, were Clash Mook and the Muslim. So I was, or EG to Muslim, I should say his name. So he's all out there with his team and whatnot. And I was just like, that was just like the saddest moment of my life. I was like, oh man, that sucks. I was just like literally just completely like, oh, I'm gonna have to play July and then this Mook guy who was a Korean for the Clash team. And obviously we found out later that that was not the case because the Muslim had a big upset against him during that aspect of it. But it was just like, oh, well that sucks. So I basically went to the tournament expecting to just get completely stomped and kind of sad about it. But I was going to enjoy myself nonetheless because one, it's IPL4 and there's tons of people there, and two, it's Vegas, so I could go get stupid and have fun. So that's basically it for the pre-talk about my vlog here, I guess. I'm going to keep going, obviously. It's going to be one big vlog because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it again because I didn't, obviously, IPL4 was like almost a month ago now and I haven't done this yet. So um, it's interesting, but we're going to, I don't know, why should I go? I didn't really lay this out too well either, so I apologize for the non-professionalism of this whole entire thing. It's just me just talking because it's easier for me. But let's see here. Day one, getting there and meeting the people. Let's see. Open up this picture. This is just like one of the setups of two different ways. They basically had two rows of these. There's one here and there's one on the other side of the room. Over here is where the caster booth is. Let me open this back up so I can actually see this of myself talking. Make sure I'm actually pointing at the right things. Obviously, you can see there's Korean pros all over here. Random. That's my friend right here. Then obviously the Muslim and Illusion sitting right next to him. Actually, the next picture is hysterical if I can get it. It's not the best resolution, but my friend and I both play Terran, so I thought this was a great picture because it's the Muslim. I tried to make him feel better about himself, and it was like, hey, look, three great Terrans, and it's the Muslim, Illusion, and then him, XOCHL is who that is, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's a random or if that's Kawhi. I don't think it's Kawhi because Kawhi was around, but I didn't remember exactly. So that's just it. Let me see if I have a better picture of like the room. This is just a picture of the spectator room. Obviously, I don't know how well you guys can see it, but this is from the other direction pointing. So this was pointing one way like this, and I was pointing this way on this one. So it's like taking a picture of who was all in the room. You can see Sase here. There's quite a few. This is just some random guy wearing an EG shirt that's actually not a pro. But you can just see how bustling the place was with people. So it was pretty cool. I was excited about it. And then obviously we go to people setting up to play, which is this one. This is him finally setting up to actually play that place. And then obviously the Muslim is playing right next to us with another group. But as you see, that's Jelizerg right there, if anybody didn't know. he was wearing a hood the entire time. They were all the Koreans were like super tired, so it was funny. Like you could just like see them like passed out everywhere, and like I don't know, they were like just jet lagged all the crap, and it was just funny. But this is like I eventually sit down here. I'm not sitting down there right now. I don't remember who's sitting here. I think there was a pro sitting there for a while because he was just practicing, and I let him practice because I was like, oh, I don't need to practice as much because I'm just a lazy, hoo-dah guy. So the venue was really cool. This is the open bracket room where I spent most of my time actually because there were just so many things going on, and like you're like literally like I said, I mean you're right next to the players. Like let's see if I can grab this one here. This one's actually funny because this is this is Scarlet being Tyrius. This is after I lost to Lizer, obviously. But this is the other side of the room, so we're walking around. You can see Leenock and Marine King. Jinro's right here. TLO somewhere in here. That's Hey Pro. That's Hotbid. This is when Scarlet was about to 2-0 Tyrius Prime, which was funny. Flo's obviously right next to him playing a game as well. So it was like the funniest thing I've seen in a while. It really was just like amusing because they're just so like I mean look how close you are. I mean there's just like this little thing and the table's right there so you can just sit there and talk with people. So it was really cool. Obviously this was a big moment in the tournament. All the Team Liquid players are actually right here. I was just wondering because they were all bustling about something. I was like, what's happening over here? And then it's like, oh, well, this. I'm like, hey, what's happening, guys? And they're everyone's really nice. So they're like, oh, dude, this chick's about to beat Tyrius Prime in a ZVZ 2-0, and we're like, what? So it was like really interesting to see because like they're all bustling around, and best line I heard during that little commentary series of people talking was TLO telling Hoppit is, "Where's Victor? We need to sign this girl right now as soon as she beat Tyrius." Because it was just, obviously, it was a huge ordeal. It was just so ridiculous to see that happen because no one else was really beating any of the Koreans just yet. And it was just not even, I mean, it was just like, I saw that second game. She dominated him. It was not close. I mean, she was just like, her control was spot on, and everything she was doing was really, really well done. So it was really cool to watch that happen. Um, Alright, let's get back to what else I was talking about. Oh, I mean, obviously, I lost to July, so I was like, oh, I didn't take a picture with him right afterwards because I was just like, didn't want to bother him because I could tell he was tired and whatnot. So it was kind of interesting. I think this is him. No, that's him setting up still. Let me see if I can find another picture without being too ridiculous. This one is funny. This is just how. Oh, that's not even right with the F. Maybe. There we go. Okay, now it actually opens up properly. This one's just another one of people just BSing. Chef, Sase, and Jason Lake from Complexity Gaming just all standing in a circle, just talking with one another. It was just so relaxed of an environment, so different to even see things like that. It was just really cool. Just to, like I said, to be there in general. I mean, it was just everything's so close and all this stuff, and like you could just BS with people, and it was just really cool. And then this is the first time we actually went to the main stage room. So obviously we went to the main stage room, and the first thing my friend does is finds John the translator. So this is my buddy, XOCHL, with John the translator because we saw him. And the best thing about this is literally on John's name tag it says John the translator. It doesn't just say John from GOM or anything like that. It just says John the Translator, and everybody knows who he is. It was just funny. So this is the room. The first time we were in it, we're like, it's not very busy in here because obviously this was day one. So I mean, you could see stuff. I took this one with flash. My camera's not very good. I apologize for that. That's the League of Legends room, which is about half the size of the StarCraft room, which was funny because there were so many people in the League room. Like when you hear stories about it being swimming room only, it literally was. You had the stand, and they had like the security guard guys. Can you please step out of the aisle? It's a fire hazard. You need to stay to the sides. And I'm like, holy crap! I was in there like twice or 2 or 3 times. I mean. I do play LOL sometimes, but it was really cool. I mean, as you see there in this picture, I'll bring it back up. You can see how their setup was. I mean, Riot is really all in with their game. Like they really support their game really, really well. It's really cool. I actually have to meet some of them later on, and I'll talk about that later. But I mean, overall in all, it was just a cool thing. Um, my friend, back to my friend who I just showed you a picture of with him and John. Um, he played On Young Prime, the captain of the Prime team, in round one of his game. So that was pretty depressing for him. He's very optimistic, though. So he's like, oh, it was kind of close. He scouted my Marauder Hellion all in right as it was going out. So he got crushed. It wasn't really that close. So he lost to him. And then he actually got lucky. He played a guy that we believe was from, there's a couple guys from the Twitter team, from the After Hours Gaming League there, I believe. So he played a guy named Twitter Caesar in his second round, and he beat him. So he actually got to, make it further than I did, because obviously he got to play somebody that wasn't a pro gamer until the third round, where he got to play, or the second round of the losers bracket, where he got to play TLO. Back to some of the cool things about walking around. Obviously, I mean, here's MC signing stuff for random people. That one was one of my favorite ones because it's like all moving, but his face and stuff is very in there. Right behind here, obviously, if anybody else didn't notice about Nestea, is he wore the same jacket the entire time. So it goes back to him and Nestea talking. I have a couple pictures of Nestea in here somewhere. But I mean, like, there's just people walking around. I walked out. I ended up walking outside later on, and I ran into Mr. Jason Lake. Not the best picture because my camera isn't very good. I walked out and was like, "Hey, you're Jason Lake that owns Complex." And he's like, "Yeah, of course I am." And I was like, "Hey, man, can I take a picture of you? Because that's pretty awesome." And he's like, I haven't seen him in a while. I've only ever seen him in like videos and stuff. I didn't notice how young he was. Like, he's a younger guy. And I was like, hey, man, I made that comment. It was like, man, I thought you were like, I mean, of course, I have that misperception of seeing Scoots all the time, so Scoots is a little bit older. Scoots is really cool, by the way. No offense to him. He's an awesome guy. He was so cool. I mean, I talked with him like 4 or 5 times while I was there just to say hello because he was a cool guy. And Jason Lake's just sitting there. He's like, yeah, no, I got my back's been bothering me, so I just wanted to take a break. So I took a picture of him, and he's like, oh, he gave me a Complexity shirt. I would show it to you, but it's dirty because I don't do laundry very often. As you can probably see by my mess of, this is from Christmas. Don't worry about that. It's just my room's a mess. Anyway, he gave me a Complexity shirt. He's like, "Hey, Ed, let me take a picture of you. You're going on the website." And I'm like, "That's cool." So I mean, super nice guy. I mean, it's amazing to know that people in the community are just so nice. I mean, all the players were the same way. I didn't have anybody be like, "Hey, screw you, go kill yourself" type deal while I was talking with them. So I mean, everyone was super nice. And then I'm sure everybody's seen pictures of this of Ray the Broodlord, the little stuffed broodlord that someone made and brought with him. This was a random guy that just kind of showed up and just like started playing, and like me and my friend. But like he was like Silver League or something. Like that. He was a really nice guy. He was foreign. I think he was from Australia. I don't remember exactly. Apologize, man. I forgot. If you end up watching this, but like this little stuffed broodlord thing was awesome. Obviously, if you haven't seen all the pictures with them with the Zerg Pro gamers, freaking awesome picture setup they did because they literally gave it to like Nestea and like Leenock and stuff. They got some funny pictures. They're great pictures. They posted on Reddit a while ago, so it was pretty cool. Um, let's see if I can't find any other cool pictures I have here. So obviously going through the day, I ended up taking a lot of pictures of some of the pro gamers. This is my friend with his serious face on. I think this is a blurry one. Yeah, my camera sucks. I apologize for that. I literally bought one like right before I left. So yeah, here's serious face Dan because his name's Dan. This is serious face Dan playing Captain Beard of TLO over here with and, all the other stuff next to him. I was gonna say it's general stuff, but it's not. That's actually TLO stuff. But they're sitting across from each other. This is round 2 of the losers bracket of them playing each other. So obviously this is after I lost to the Muslim, so I got a little bit ahead of myself. For some stupid and strange reason, I know some of you guys probably saw this because they actually broadcasted it, was Losers Round 1 after the Muslim lost to Clash Mook, which was disappointing and very frustrating for him. He was pissed, and I was not excited to play him after that. But I had to play him in Losers Bracket Round 1. And for some strange reason, they're like, hey, yeah, we're going to broadcast it. I'm like, wait, why are we streaming this? I'm like, I'm just some random guy. And they're like, oh, no, you're good, you're good. I found out later that they thought I was VVV Ruff, the Ruff Grandmaster guy on ladder that is, not to be any rude to him, everybody says he's notoriously cheesy. That's why everybody thought I wasn't him after watching the games. It was funny, because I'm not. It was... It was funny because everybody's like, oh, it's, VVV Ruff versus EG to Muslim, and Doa casted it, solo casted it, because they couldn't find anybody else. And it's like, yeah, man, they casted your game and blah, 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 blah. and I hopefully that didn't mess up my sound because I just realized my stuff was slightly unplugged there. But it was just ridiculous. I was like, I'm not a programmer. Why are they streaming my match? I mean, yeah, it's the Muslim, but the Muslim versus some random? I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. And it was really, I was like nervous because, like, I mean, obviously, if you've ever been to a LAN event before, like, obviously, there's people around taking pictures and stuff like that. I was doing the same thing. I try to stay away from the pros as much when I'm taking pictures because it's kind of rude to be like, if you're in the middle of a StarCraft game, you got people in your peripherals just like taking pictures. It was nerve-wracking. I mean, I didn't expect to beat the Muslim at all in any stretch of my imagination because, I mean, I'm not that good. But it was just nerve-wracking to have people taking pictures of you and like stuff like that, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm not used to, like, they're taking pictures of me while I was playing. I'm like, why are people taking pictures of me? I'm just some random guy. I mean, like, take pictures of the Muslim. He's, you know, well known and is sponsored and all this other stuff. But that little mishap of them thinking that I was VVV rough was silly. And at this point, we're gonna go through this real quick. Okay, this is where everybody's gonna be like, "Well, you stole your name from him. He's Levy Rough, and you know you're just some random guy." And okay, this is where we pull out my notebook, or my text pad, notepad thing, and I go like this. Format font. Let's make this quite a bit bigger so people can actually read it. All right, so S Rough right there. You can see my name, and that's way too small, so we're gonna edit this again. Format, font, let's just make it 782 because that's going to be huge. SRuff. Okay, you can see there. That is my name. My name is SRuff in-game, alright? Here's the reason for it, alright? This is my first name, and this is my last name, so everyone knows. Oh no, how terrible, okay? This is how I came up with my name when I was, you know, 12 in the first StarCraft, or, you know, I wasn't even 12, I was younger than that. So I go like this, and I go like this, and I put the two together. And that's my name. That's literally how I came up with my name. So I didn't copy him. I've had this gamer tag for years, and people were like, "Oh, you just want to be a wannabe." And it was funny because I made a Team Liquid post about it, so to explain people and tried to be like, "Hey, sorry VVV, I didn't mean to like screw you over and make your, you know, make you guys think your one of your players was just complete utter bad," because I got destroyed by the Muslim. It wasn't even close, and I stayed in too long the second game, and he was super BMing me, and it made me sad. But it was funny because all in all, I just got destroyed and it was hysterical. But um, it was, I mean, he was nice about it, and he's like, I'm not VVV rough, by the way. He's like, oh, I didn't even know. Like, I mean, I've played you on ladder sometimes, and all that. And that actually, that's how it ended up being like that. Because I ended up going to the caster desk and talking with Doa and I think it was Cats Pajamas at the time. And I was talking with them. I was like, "Hey guys, what's up? How's it going?" I didn't mean to like walk up to you guys because they weren't doing anything. They were just kind of BSing. They weren't casting anything. You're casting right now. I'm like, no, no. And it's like I didn't mean to like talk to you. It's like, yeah. I was like, "Oh no, man, I know who you are. I've casted some of your games." Is what Noah said. And I'm like, "You've casted some of my games?" He's like, "Yeah, VVV Rough. I've done that a lot." Like, dude, I'm not VVV Rough. I'm just some guy that has a similar name to him. And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were because I just casted your game against the Muslims." This was like a little bit after. And I was like, oh, I was like so embarrassed by it. It's like, oh my god, all these people think I was somebody else, and then I got destroyed. I mean, I didn't play cheesy because I don't play that way, but and like that's what a lot of people on the Team Liquid thread posted, and they're like, oh yeah, you're not cheesy, blah blah blah, and it was funny. It was amusing. It was probably the funniest thing to happen during the experience. But yeah, obviously later on, between me losing and people thinking I was VV rough and my games getting streamed, which was embarrassing as crap, um, you know, it was cool. I started to walk around and just like I said, it got to the point where my friend was playing TLO, which is, if we go back to this picture, he was trying to be all serious, and then that picture sucks. I'm sorry, my camera's not that good. Is this a good one? Yeah, this is him after the utter shame of defeat against TLO. And him just being all sad about it was funny. And then I just decided to go on like a touring picture thing, so I'll go through some. Axlab, I hung out with him quite a bit. He was pretty cool. I mean, not quite a bit, but I hung out with him a couple times. Sorry, throwing stuff across my screen. Um, that's Machine. You can't tell because the picture sucks. I took a couple of them. Tyler and Machine were actually playing at that time. There's Sase. You can see them playing each other. And then this is the Great Zerg Mines contemplating together. This is right after my friend loses. You can see my friend's giant dome in the background. Sheth and TLO talking about stuff. And then Kat showed up. I tried to take some pictures of him. This is my one picture with Flash. All right. Story of the thing. Okay, Clash when the Muslim played Mook. Uh, Somebody took a picture of the Muslim with Flash. Like they took a picture of him while they were playing, and like right in his face, like Flash in his face while he's playing. But they didn't do it just once; they did it twice, and it was really, really, really bad. And he was pissed about it because they did it to him twice, and so he was like super pissed about it. This is the only. This is why like all my pictures don't have flash and they don't look as nice. Like this one looks a lot nicer because it has flash. Luckily, this is not when he's playing Zinio, because I would have felt terrible, because I watched it happen, and Abby's actually standing next to me, the Muslim's girlfriend, and she was like, "Did you just take a picture with Flash?" And I thought she was going to kill me. I'm like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I turned it off," and so obviously the next picture is without Flash. You can kind of tell the difference of picture quality, because the Flash really helps my camera not suck. But this is before, he's just practicing before on ladder, so it was funny because they were super mad about that. And speaking of one with Flash, this is after I lost to a Muslim, so I took a picture with him. There's my dorky face, as you can see right here. Hi. And then I haven't edited any of these. I edited a couple of them before, like I sent one edited to him. So it's the Muslim, and like I was taking a picture with him, and Abby is like stepping out of the picture. I'm like, no, I don't care. You can be in the picture. And he's like, I don't really care. I mean, people were super easygoing, so it was kind of cool. So the entirety of day one was me getting destroyed, and then me, walking around and taking pictures and talking with people. So it was really cool. I mean, I just got to, talk with everyone, and it's like it's really an experience to be had, to be in that open bracket room and just be able to just like talk with people, because everyone's normally really nice about it. No one's really rude about anything. Everybody's, as long as you're not like right after they lose, or right try while they're trying to get set up for their stuff, like they're setting all their keyboard and mouse and stuff up. I mean, it's just, you're fine. And then speaking of lazy Koreans, here's a picture of them. I don't remember who they all are, but this is Young, that's Crank, and then Killer's over here, Complexity Killer, and then some other of the Koreans. I forgot who they all were. Sorry, I spaced on it a little bit. But, people just doing their thing, so it was kind of funny. Is this the picture? Yes, this is my picture of when HD and Wolf were casting, and this is the funniest thing ever. I told Wolf I wouldn't do this to him, but because I ended up talking to him a couple times. But he had like a pile of snacks just like next to his thing. He was hungry apparently, and like one of the snacks, so he went and got like something, and then Caldor apparently came out with like just like from their like break room that they have, and he just brought like a pile of snacks for him. So it looks like he just, all he does is eat all the time, which was amusing as heck. Wolf was really cool. Hung out with him quite a few times while I was there. He was super nice about everything. Everybody was just really, I mean, he sounded really tired, but everything was just super relaxed and all that stuff. So that was like basically the entirety of day one. I know this is going to be a long vlog apparently, I just realized, and I should probably make it into different parts, but literally just everyone was super nice. The entire, like I said, I was in the open bracket room for like the entire time, just because overall it was just so much to go around. Something was always happening. There was always somebody playing and all this other stuff. It was just overall like awesome, and I'll keep this. That's what I'm gonna do now. I'm thinking about this at the same time. This is gonna be a 2 or 3 part, probably a, no, let me see here. I don't have that many more pictures to talk over, so we'll just keep going. But yeah, it was just, everyone was nice. I mean, you met them randomly in the hotel or the casino, or, everyone I ran across the street, because there's a Walgreens and a Panda, a 24-hour Panda across the street. So, like, food in the hotel, like, the hotel was really nice, like I said before, but it was not cheap. So, like, I mean, the first day I was there, I didn't, like, want to go anywhere, because I got there before my friend did, and I had to wait for him so he could have a key and, like, get into the room and whatnot. So I went and got a burger at the little burger joint that they had, and it cost me, for a beer and a burger, it cost me $30. I was like, holy crap. Like, I mean, it was a okay-sized burger, and it was really good. And, I mean, it was just a regular, I got a Newcastle because they had it on tap. And I was like, holy God. Like, I was like, this is so expensive. Sorry, I needed a drink. My throat's getting a little parched from talking so much. But, like, I mean, it was expensive. So it was just, like, this crazy ordeal of how things were just, you know. And so, like, everybody wanted to cross the street to Panda, like, every day. Like, everyone was at Panda all the time. Like, there was, like, you could go there at almost any time during the day, and you would run into somebody else. I mean, obviously, you'd run into a bunch of fans, like, obviously, attendees, or, like, people like me, or people like me that didn't play, that they just went to go watch. Um, but it was just every like I saw a pro gamer like every time I walked over there. I'm like, I mean, I talked to some of them occasionally, but like the entire time it was, oh, I don't need to talk with you, you know, because you're eating and I'm eating, and, you know, I try not to be rude to people. I tried really hard to, but apparently I was to some. But I just, you know, just in general being nice to people and whatnot. So it was cool. That was day one. Day two was the same thing. It was us. Day two ended up being a lot of us, me and my friend, sitting around and watching games happen. My friend speaks Russian, so he wanted to talk with Damaga and White Rock while we were there. And so when he found Damaga and White Rock, he was just off on his spiel, talking with them like all the time. So we hung out with them. And, you know, we had player classes, so no one ever questioned us when we sat down. So we sat down next to people all the time. Like, I mean, not like right while they were playing, but we'd like sit catty corner to them because the little player areas were for players only. So you could like grab a seat and sit down and watch what was going on. It was pretty cool. I mean, overall, it was. I mean, I got to talk to TT1. I got to talk with Vibe. I know a little bit from before I met him in Orlando. He's actually from Colorado, so I got to talk with him on my flight out there and my flight back, and at the event, which was really cool. He's a nice guy. Um, like I said, Demaga, White Raw, TT1, Todd. Those guys were all in like a group together most of the time, so we got to talk with them quite a bit. Axlav, I got to talk with a little bit. Thunder Toss, I ran into. Um, Obviously, I took pictures of a whole bunch of other people. The Muslim was really cool. The Koreans were awesome. Actually, my prized possession from the entire event is because I got a whole bunch of stuff signed from the first time I went. Or from when I went to Orlando, so I have like a mouse pad up there with casters on it and stuff like that, and MKP signed it, which is cool. But I didn't really do that this time. I don't know. I just decided I didn't want to like go around and get stuff signed. I was just being lazy. But this is my prized possession, as some of people you can't really see. I'll move my ugly face out of the way. It does say MMA. Obviously, this is my my mouse pad, my Razer mouse pad cover, because this is what I have. And MMA signed it for me. I was like, sign big as you want, and he like just went, brah! I'm like, awesome. That was my cool thing to break stuff. Sorry about that. I knocked my other mouse pad down. But I'll fix that later because that's too hard to do without standing up. But just do it now because I'll forget about it later otherwise. It was really cool because MMA like is my favorite player, so I had to get his signature, so it was really cool. And then here, if anybody else wants to see, this is my mouse pad from Orlando because I actually forgot my mouse pad when I went to Orlando, so I had to go to Best Buy. I had to find a Best Buy in Florida and go buy a mouse pad. And this is the only like gaming mouse pad I could find that wasn't like stupid. So I ended up just getting it signed, and I was actually going to use it for a while, but I didn't. So as you can see here, with my ugly face out the way, let me make sure we can do this. Here is DJ Wheat Husky. Over here is Day 9 with his very elaborate, beautiful signature. And then at the very bottom right there, MKP. Which is really cool because MKP, obviously I'm a Terran player, so I like Terrans. They're like some really cool people. But like again, all the foreign pros I hung out with were all like Protoss players, and Damaga's a Zerg player, so it was funny. Hanging out with them was like it was really cool because I mean they were really chill about it. We literally just sat and talked about games as they happened. I mean it wasn't like super into stuff or like crazy whatever. Just it was just relaxed. It's like hanging out with anybody else you have anything in common with. So let me see if I can throw some other pictures. Obviously I saw Jinro. There's a picture of Jinro. Let's see if I have one that's actually a little bit better. That one's a little bit better. There's Jinro. Rhett's over to the side. You can see Rhett being cool over there. That's Killer. I don't have any really good pictures of Killer. Well, one of the killers, because both killers were there. I got to meet both of them. There's Dragon, who wore his Jeep shirt like the entire time we were there. The infamous victorious Rain, or not Rain, What am I saying, Ryan? Alive, sorry. I'm like, oh, I just blundered that so hard. Alive there. Who won the tournament, obviously. Sase. I tried to take some, like, a good, like, over-the-computer pictures so people could actually see people. Um, that's Hero. Let's see if I have another one. There's Vibe. I'll just scroll through them. This is what they were all saying on this list. It goes TL, the Muslim, Vibe, and then Hero, which is kind of cool. I got a couple of those decent ones. The Muslim, Select. I took a couple pictures. July again, Dragon, Tasia, with his new liquid uniform at that time. Jinro, uh, Kiwi Kaki, which I couldn't really get a good picture of him. I just completely spaced on who that was because I don't remember. There's Rhett being lazy, which was cool. That's such a laid-back guy. He's really cool. Um, this is, I think this is right before the GSL finals. Let me double check on it. No, it's not. This is MMA playbook. Scoot's talking to Megumi Bear. Megumi's really, 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 really nice, by the way. She was super cool. I'm just going to scroll through pictures now, just real quick. Ryung, MKP, Ryung again, Killer again, Crank. Me and QXC. Okay, this is a funny thing. Alright, this is a great one. So, this is me and QXC, obviously. QXC hates me. I'm pretty sure he hates me. As you can tell by this picture, he's not very excited at all. He literally... I sat down and talked to him for a little while, and I wasn't trying to troll him or anything. I'm just like a normally sarcastic person. And he's just... Like, as you can see, he's not very happy in this picture at all. But he's just so funny of a dude. He's so, like... He's got, like, this, like, blunt sarcasm that goes through him. And he was just, like... At one point in time, like, I literally... Because they were just sitting on the floor talking. I was like, hey, QXC, how'd you do? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, that sucks. You know, it's not too... You know... I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. I think it was like who he got knocked out by or something like that. And I was like, hey, you know, whatever, you know, who's going on? Sorry, fixing my hair because it looks stupid. Habit. um, he was just talking about stuff and was just going through, talking about who he lost to. And I said something that he took as, like, offense, apparently. And he's like, you're the worst fan ever. Literally, QXC told me I was the worst fan ever. After talking with Jason Lake the day before and being like, hey, I got a t-shirt from him and blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, you're just trolling me, man. And I was like, no, I wasn't trying to. That's just how I am. And I'm sorry. It was just funny because he was a cool dude to sit and talk with. Like, I literally sat down on the floor and talked with him and these two girls, one of which who had driven Rotterdam out there, who was out there for the event, which was funny. And another girl that worked for Asus, who was out there doing like pictures for them and trying to do some sort of sponsor thing or something like that. I don't remember exactly because we didn't really go into it very much, but it was really cool. I mean, they were like all really nice, and you know, we were all sitting on the floor in the open bracket room just talking. It was really, really cool. Overall, I mean, it was just awesome. Obviously, we go to oh, here's White Raw, by the way. I didn't really get any good pictures of White Raw, unfortunately. There's Dima. Dimago was super cool, too. Those guys were both really nice. TT1 was funny. Oh, where's my awesome picture? I have an awesome picture in here somewhere. Where is it? There's a couple guys wanted a picture with Nestea, and they were all like, oh, Nestea, can we get a picture with you? And then, like, everybody's like, oh, can I get a picture with you? And they're like, everybody get a picture with Nestea. So, like, this giant Nestea picture happened of random people. I'm not in it. I just took a picture of it because I thought it was funny. Because there's Nestea in the middle and like 20 people because it's Nestea and it was just funny. It's like, ah, we're the guy that created the universe. It was just hysterical. And it just, all in all, that was like one of the coolest moments when everybody's like, oh, Nestea, can we get a picture with you? And like, obviously, the more relaxed feel of the open bracket room is, this is Hey Pro playing, obviously. And his fan base of Huck is sitting there because Huck and Hey Pro are like BFFs. So it was pretty funny. This is actually when the Muslim and Zinio were playing because the Muslim actually knocked out Zinio, which is really cool. Select sitting next to him, obviously, which is also kind of cool. They had some pretty intense stuff going on here. There's another picture of Dragon. There's Lonnie in the background being Lonnie. Green's being lazy. My friend right after he lost I lost to Muslim. He lost to TLO. And then Stefano and Bling. Oh my god, those guys were funny. Stefano and Bling are like the buddy guys ever. There's Huck, Quantic Flow, um, Rain King stuff. Can't tell who that was. My camera sucks. July. People, the Muslim with Abby behind him. She was like that the entire. She's so supportive. It was crazy. Lenok's freaking awesome. And then we go back to these pictures. Sorry, I'm so unorganized at this. I probably should have spent a little time to actually organize this. I was actually just going to go through pictures, but apparently I didn't do that, so. Oh, and then right after talking to QXC, he has a Zerg bag, and then Anna Prosser walks up to us. So Anna is like, oh my god, like she's so nice. I was scared. She was so nice. Like it was ridiculous. She was like, hey guys, how are you? And she like introduced herself and like talked to everyone. I was like, I guess that goes with the whole Miss Oregon thing. She's just good at being able to talk with people. And they were all about to go get food, so she like grabs Lonnie and grabs Megumi, and I took this picture. And then it's funnier because right here you can see freaking Joshi in the background photobombing their picture without even meaning to, which was just hysterical. There's Huck again with MC right next to him getting advice, obviously. Just kidding. That didn't happen. Illusion. This is day 2. Now that I'm looking at it, that's day 2 stuff. So, this is Illusion, and then this is Ryung and Puma after Ryung got knocked out by Illusion. Illusion beat Ryung, and then Illusion beat Oz, which was ridiculous. MMA and Puma. It was really cool. That's Illusion again. I'm trying to get a good picture. There's Jinro being funny. With some random other people. There's Huck and MC, MKP. Oh, this is what it was. This is the picture I was looking for. This is Bling and Stefano. They're so funny because they were just so buddy-buddy. Like, they have, like, a mound of, like, there's just a pile of food between them, and they're just sharing and doing their thing. And they're just, like, BSing and talking the entire time. It was just funny. Dima, more Nesty and Lenok, and a couple other Koreans. Bling again. MMA, Axlev, Machine, Scoots. I told you I had a picture of Scoots in there. Scoots is a really nice guy, despite people say they don't like him and all this other stuff. Scoots is super nice, and everybody should respect him for what he does. This is the picture of like normally what it looked like. So obviously Todd and Dima and MMA, and then Crank behind him, and then TT1 coming in on the side, which is really cool. Lonnie doing the interview. This is right where she was doing interviews because this was right before the GSTL finals happened. So this is what it normally turned out to be. So this is my friend TT1, Dima, and Todd. And then actually over here you can't see, but across the way is where White Raw was. They did this huge signing event on all the TT esports or all the TT whatever esports electronic TT stuff that sponsor Prime. And they were doing all this signing of stuff that they were doing. It was really cool. I just took a picture of it because it was cool. Lonnie and Katz played a show match thing versus 2 random viewers. There's White Raw again. But that was pretty amusing. That was right before the GSTL finals. And then this is GSTL finals. So sorry, I skipped ahead, obviously. So this is just the room. We went and sat down somewhere random and was like watching it. Obviously the controversy was really a big deal about the regame that they were forced to do. But it was interesting. It was, I mean, I knew either way, sitting in the crowd, that the decision they made was going to directly affect the outcome because obviously if they didn't give a regame, MKP was out, and then the score was going to be 3-1 for Startail, and it was going to be over. Like, I knew unless they threw out somebody else that would have been able to do it. I don't know. I literally sitting in the crowd thinking, I was like, if they don't regame, Startail wins. Parting's gonna clear their entire team. But if they regamed, I thought MKP would take it. And MKP did, and as soon as he took the game, I knew MKP was going to sweep them. It was just one of those things. It was like they gave him a regame, and I was like, MKP is going to sweep them now. It doesn't matter. It was a really hard decision from the event standpoint for everyone. They made it. I talked with a couple people. I talked with Doa about it because I saw him in between the break because it took like 20 minutes for them to decide what they were going to do. Talked with Doa about it. He's like, yeah, well, I mean, from the event standpoint, you have to redo a regame because there's all these people here, and we got screwed. I mean, it was just it was great to have Dustin Browder up there because, like, I mean, obviously you guys all, anybody that watched the event heard the "We Want Land" chant, which was funny because it was true. That's what we were yelling. We want land. It was just great. I mean, it was just so funny to have that happen with him there at such a big event. But overall, I'm glad they did the regame because it got us another really good game where MKP did the same. It was like literally the same exact game, except MKP just played it with a little more finesse, so he was able to pull it out. And then, I mean, it was a big deal for him. Like, I mean, he was upset about he winning the regame, obviously, because you could see it in his face that he was like legitimately upset about it from some of the other pitchers that they had. But it was just, I mean, it had to be done just for the crowd base and everything there because, I mean, MKP is just such a huge fan favorite. And, I mean, to call a game that he won without being able to say that, I mean, he was way ahead. He really was, like, retardedly ahead. But, I mean, it's MKP. MKP's pulled things out before. So, I mean, it was a tough call for them to do, but I think overall they made the right decision. Hopefully, Blizzard hears this and like ends up changing some stuff, but we'll see. I guess eventually they probably won't, but it was a big deal. I mean, obviously, and then obviously they won, and this the big celebration at the end with their hats and everything like that going on. I walked up to the front of the stage, and this is me taking a picture of Dustin Browder and the CEO of Blizzard, which is funny. They're all really excited. Maru and MKP and everybody. MKP was so excited. I mean, there's one picture in here that I actually just posted on Facebook because like I said, I've been kind of lazy about this stuff. This is my favorite picture of it, like hands down. I mean, it was such a long, long celebration, but it was so good because I mean, you got the prime coach in the back holding the cup up. He's got all the extra hats they gave him, and then MKP. The smile on his face in this one I thought was just priceless. I mean, I'm glad I got this picture because this was just, it was just a huge. I mean, there was so much emotion between him and his teammates. It was just so good. I mean, the opposite side of things, Startail was crushed. I mean, I watched them leave together, and they were just absolutely just destroyed by the fact of that they lost basically because of the regame. But I mean, it was either way, it was really amazing just to have the entire thing happen. It was really really cool. Um, so I mean, obviously we went through that, and then the next day was the final, so we got to watch. Oh, those stressful games. I was drinking heavily during the finals. I'm gonna throw that out there. So we were watching, and it was just I hate Protoss in that aspect of how Squirtle did like the same build against every Terran and just would face rolled across his keyboard and just crushed people. I was like, oh, please please, 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 please pull this off so I don't have to listen to how Protoss is just stupid anymore. So it was pretty interesting to see that happen. Obviously, the winners, the three of them going on up there and stuff like that. The night before, okay, night before, after GSTL finals, my friend and I, we went out downstairs and wanted to go play. We wanted to go gamble. We hung out with the White Brow that night, and I'm gonna say this out like real quick. It was kind of me playing cards with him and the owner of Playham. Both of them. White Raw is one of the nicest people. If anybody else has never had a chance to hang out with him, I hope everyone does because he is just so unbelievably nice. It was it was scary about how nice he was. It was like super just amazing about how cool a guy he was. Like he was just so nice. And the owner of Playham was playing cards with him. That guy was super cool as well. I mean, let me talk with him, everything like that. I mean, it was just like a social setting stuff, but they were all just super nice. White Raw is one of the coolest people out there, hands down. Hanging out with him and drinking with him was a blast, both that night and at the after party. And the after party was ridiculous. So the after party was just everyone just having a good time, which is really cool. Um, I ended up drinking quite a bit that night. I was hammered, actually, completely beyond belief, and I had to fly out the next day. But it was just funny. I mean, just I didn't take very many pictures there because I was too busy talking and drinking and BSing with people. Cool. One of the other coolest people I met during the entire thing is this guy right here. That's Rivington from Riot Games, one of the LoL guys. All right. I support esports in either way. I do play LoL occasionally. I'm not very good at it and stuff like that, but Rivington was one of the nicest people. He's like, yeah, man. And it's like, hey guys, what's up? And just BSing. We just like sat there and like talked with him for like a little while. I'm just like, hey man, how's it going? And he just like went through. He's like, yeah, no, it's good. And like his ideas, like he's got the passion for it, like anyone else does. It's not just about his game. It's about everyone. It's about the entire scene growing together to become a legitimate thing in like the eyes of the public, basically. And it was really cool. I mean, I met so many cool people there. I mean, they were just all super nice. We did take a picture with Megumi, me and my friend. Megumi is super tiny, by the way. I'm leaned over, so you can't really tell. My friend looks like he's about to die. This was after the finals, so we're both been blitzed out of our minds, actually. So it was great. Like we were just hammered. It was awesome. It was like our own barcraft, except we were just drunk as shit. So sorry about the profanity at the end there. I tried to skip that as much as possible, but it did come out. Um, Overall, the experience was just freaking phenomenal. IPL did such a great job. Uh, the fact that I could buy alcohol and drink there at the same time while watching it was awesome. I really wish they could do that for NLGs because, I mean, yeah, it was an all ages thing, but it was like at a place where they sold alcohol regularly. So we just went over, got some alcohol, and sat down and started pounding them while we were freaking watching StarCraft. It was just like back home, back here when we were at Barcraft. I mean, we just sit and drink and talk about StarCraft. It was a great experience. Everyone was really, really cool about everything. I mean, it was just I'm going to IPL5 unless I like financially can't go because I don't have money. I'm going because it was just so cool. I had a good time at Orlando as well, but IPL5 there's something different about it just because the venue and everything like that. They just did a good job with it. Obviously, they could tweak a few things like the fact that you saw the main room, which is kind of barren sometimes, versus the open bracket room where I was most of the time, which was always bustling with people, and there were always like a crowded group around whatever big game was going on. It was ridiculous. It was so, so cool. I mean, it was just, I wish they could put the two rooms together, like HD mentioned before, and trying to have that going so that you could see like the other half of the crowd all clustered around the little computers trying to figure out what's going on and stuff like that. Um, but this is where I get to my criticism of the event, I guess, is if they could do that, it would make the crowd look a lot bigger because there were a lot of people there. There were a ton of people there. It was really cool. But the other thing is, like I said, I mean, if it made the crowd seem lackluster, which a lot of people complain about. I checked Reddit the entire time over the weekend. That's what I do. And it seemed a little bit lackluster, all in all. But um, it was just if they had the rooms together, it would be really cool. But the other thing is like people didn't get to see like the big Team Liquid post about IPL4 that they just did about how some of the people made such great runs. Like Scarlet, everybody heard about because Scarlet was like the Cinderella story, like literally of the entire tournament. And my glasses are super dirty. I just realized. It was the Cinderella story of like the entire thing. It was really cool, but um like other people did like really good job. Like Sase was like one match away from being in the actual brackets. Illusion, oh my god, that man is a madman. Illusion took out. I watched him take out Ryung, and then I watched him play Oz. Like I saw his face after he beat Ryung, and he was so relieved. And then I saw his face after they told him he had to play Oz next, and he's like, dang it. Those games, if you have not seen those games, I know they released the replays of them, but if you can find those games, I don't know if they actually have those ones because I didn't really check, but those games, the games of Illusion versus Oz, Game 3, Illusion went pure mech, and beat Oz on Daybreak in TVP, and it was just like amazing how well he played it. His siege timings were impeccable. He never lost his Hellions. He just had them for the big fights when he needed them, and just dominated. He used the Banshee play really well. I mean, it was such a great game played by him. That guy, and like everybody says, it's like they talk about him because he's like 16 or something. He's amazingly good at the game. It was impressive. I mean, that was my big story of the tournament. Watching him beat Lee Young and then beat Oz, I was like, what? I mean, what is happening? It's like, this is amazing. I mean, he just did so well. It was great. Um, and like being able to like do like the smaller thing that MLG does, where they bring in like the smaller caster people and get them to cast some of the games. Because everybody wants a caster, obviously, so they can listen to it, which was cool. But overall, it's just seeing those games happen was just amazing. It, like, you don't have to show the caster on screen or anything like that. It could just be like this, like anybody else at home, and just do it that way. It was, just seeing those games was awesome. Like, there were so many good games that people didn't get to see, and it was depressing a little bit actually to like miss out on a bunch of stuff. Like the game doing the Muslim and Xenio, that was a great game too. Oh my gosh, that was so well done. The Muslim was like on a rampage after losing to Mook, the Protoss player from Clash. And it was just, there were so many good things happening, and watching everything happen was just, it was a great event. I mean, they can do some more tweaks, but like I said, uh, unless I financially cannot go, or I am like injured or dead, I'm going to IPL5. Especially since I think they're planning on having it in Vegas again. So even better, because Vegas is such a cool place because there's so much to go do. I mean, yeah, I lost a ton of money gambling, but it was just awesome. Like, all in all, there was just stuff to do. I didn't even leave the hotel that much. I mean, I walked across the street to go to Walgreens and Panda Express to get food, and that was it. It was a great event. Sorry for the length of this vlog, I guess. I mean, it went pretty long, um, and it wasn't very well prepared, and I say a lot and like and whatnot. I apologize for that. Thanks for watching if you do watch. I just didn't feel like typing this all out. I like talking. It's a little bit more personal for me, and I could go through my pictures one by one and stuff like that. I mean, you got to see my bad pictures, my good pictures. You know, most of them were bad because my camera's not very good. I bought it right before the event just so I would have a camera. It's this little tiny thing actually over here. Woo, little tiny Canon power shot. I got it on Newegg for like $70. It was pretty cool. Um, all in all, just I enjoyed myself at the event, and I encourage everyone else to go out there and do it. I mean, even if you play like me both times, I mean, I got destroyed, but it was a blast. It really was a lot of fun. Anybody have any other questions about it, you guys can hit me up in the comments here, or let's let's do an email address. That's probably easier if anybody wants to shoot me an email. So that's my email address. Let me adjust this so people can actually read it as I close it because I'm special. SRUFFLEY@gmail.com. Hit me up with any questions if you guys want to have any other questions about the event or anything like that. Hit me up. I'll try and get to you as much as possible. I did just start a new job after I got back from it, so that's why I've been kind of lazy about this. And all in all, yeah, let me know, guys. Hopefully this was enlightening or informative at all, or entertaining somewhat. I mean, I'm not the most entertaining person. I went through pictures of me at an event. It's like a slideshow, family photo mile slides. Oh, and this is us doing stuff. No, I just hope I got got that out there a little bit to let people know about how cool of an event it was, and how much people need to try and make it out to these things. I mean, they need to have them in better, or not better cities, but more accessible cities. This is why Vegas is so cool, because most places have cheap flights to Vegas. But all in all, it was just people. If we want the sport to grow as a whole and the scene to just evolve, one, we need to stop this BS about people like, oh, League of Legends is dumb. Halo is dumb. StarCraft's the best thing ever. I mean, I like StarCraft more than both of those as well, but Both of those are part of esports in general. We're StarCraft. We're one thing. We're not esports. We are an esport, but we are not esports. I mean, hence why it's esports. There's more than one. So we want everybody to come together. Riot, props to them for unfortunately they do more than Blizzard. They try and promote stuff. I mean, obviously you can see this stuff here that they've been doing a lot with the news and community stuff, trying to promote it more. But if there's a tournament going on with Riot, I can click on that button, I click play, and it goes live to the stream, and I can watch it on my menu in the game, which is amazing. So I mean, you don't have to go through anything else. It's just click, done, playing. It's ridiculous. So props to them. Props to Blizzard for making a great game, honestly. But all in all, it was a cool experience. I hope everybody else can go out there at some point in time. I hope it's in more cities. I hope it just grows to a point where, you know, you talk about football games and baseball games and stuff like that. I mean, the thing with something like StarCraft is it's gonna be like baseball, because there's so much going on all the time. I mean, it's just, baseball is like 300 games or something in a year. You can always go, even with the smaller stuff. I mean, that'd be awesome. I mean, I got a local team here where I live. I could go watch. It's, one of the minor teams for the Rockies. And all in all, it's just, I want esports to do that, and that's why I'm making this vlog. Honestly, all in all, it's not for me. It's not to get famous or anything like that. It's me to try and help do my part to help people realize that if you really like something, you got to try and do something for it. I'm not the best. I don't have a degree in anything yet, and I just some guy that enjoys it. But I've gone to 2 events so far, had a blast at both of them, and I hope that I can continue to do events, go to events, help out, whatever I can do. Maybe once I finish my degree, help out and do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is my step in the right direction, hopefully. Thanks for watching, Stefan S. Roughly. That's my name. Uh, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I see you guys at IPL5 or even MLG Anaheim if I'm lucky, crossing my fingers. Take it easy, guys.